Hey everybody, it's Desiree over here at Easy Crafters, and today I have a special project. This one here is kind of new, and it is also near and dear to my heart because I am a grandma. So I have this particular transfer. It's called Grandchildren Fill the Space in Your Heart You Never Knew Was Empty. And if you're a grandparent, you know that's true, at least when they're babies. And my granddaughter, she is 4 years old, and she is smarter than a whip and stinking cute. And I still remember the first time I called her stinking cute, and she looked at me and she said, "I not stink." Like, yep, grandbabies are a little bit literal. So I'm taking this out of the packaging, and there are some lines here that I'm going to cut to split this apart. Some people have been using the little rotary cutters on a cutting mat, and I do have one. Those are generally used by people who quilt, like this friend of mine, Pearl, who lives down Bakersfield. I was at an event, vendor event last weekend with her. She was so nice. She actually her name is Pearl, and she sells pearls, and they were beautiful, and I still have to get one. I forgot to do that last weekend. Anyway, so here's the grandchildren, and this is the plan, is to put them like this on this board. Now all this is a leftover board from the project that I did. I actually finally finished it and turned it in for the 4-H. It's a, I'll show you guys real quick here. It's this right here. I actually put a stencil, one of the transfers on it, and it is a saddle rack. And they are going to be auctioning that off up here at the 4-H Stallion Springs on the 21st. So if you are in our vicinity, feel free to go there and bid on that. So anyways, this was some leftover wood from that project, and I went ahead, I sanded it, and I stained it, and then I put Minwax on it, so it's pretty slick. I was a little bit disappointed about the Minwax kind of lifted some of the stain, but I'm gonna go with it because it's what I have right now, so I'm going with it. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all these transfers down onto the board, and since they're all separate, I'm just gonna go ahead and do them all together so that they're sitting there correctly. And I'm thinking that this is pretty much centered. We're just gonna go with it. So the first thing I'll do is I'm gonna take a marker and mark on the back of this, and I'm just gonna call it Grandchildren. So I know that this is the back of this particular transfer, because these are reusable silkscreen transfers. So that white space there is actually silkscreen. It's a fabric, and you need to put this back on here. All right, so just lift it. And nope, I do not have very long fingernails. Oh, look, it's great. So I'm just gonna pull it off. I'm trying not to stretch the transfer. And it is going to be pretty sticky. So what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna go flop that over here on my handy dandy towel so that I can get rid of some of the sticky. And I might do that a couple more times. All right, so let me center this. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not being real careful with it. And then flatten it on here. The thing of concern are the lettering. I don't care if this lifts a little here. In fact, it's quite all right if it's lifted a little in the corners, because that makes it easier to get it off. So, sliding it down, down, down. All right. Now, We have a left hand and a right hand. And no, they are not my grandchild's hands. So I'm gonna go right hand. And we'll do this one, left hand. And what that will do is that will identify these. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on either side of this particular transfer. So let me lift this one up, and it will probably be more difficult because the first one, yeah, the first one was easy. And there we go, it did come off. And then of course I need to fuzz it. That's what this is called, putting it on there. So now it's fuzzed. I'm going to go ahead and line this up right about there. And just make sure this part is down. And then we'll take this transfer. And I have a little rocks here. That's probably because that towel has been used so much and I have not yet cleaned it. So it's got some chalk on it, right? And smack this down. If you show up and I can't see you, just give me a little shout out down below or to the side or whatever. And let me know you're here. So I'm going to go over here on the other side. And if you're watching the replay, just note that you're watching the replay. Okay, so I have the hands here, the grandchildren, and I kind of had this idea to put a bunch of different colors on it, just like as if a little kid was finger painting. You know, and I do have some more colors here. I may or may not use all of these colors because that's a lot of colors. I got a lot of colors here, but we'll see how it goes. I do need to make sure that this doesn't get too busy, and that I don't let it dry out. And speaking of which, I have the fan on. Let me turn that off real quick because I don't want it to dry out. There we go. Got the fan off, so. All right. So I'm going to go in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of water, a little squirt of water in here. I'm scraping off the sides. Just add a little bit of water here. That helps to keep it from drying out. There we go. And I'm going to get these open. Maybe I won't use that lime green. We'll use purple, just primary colors, which means I also need the yellow. Actually, let's not use purple. We should probably just use these. That's what I'm thinking, because that is not really a primary color, that's a mix. So, oops. Thinking about it because we're talking little kids. Red, blue, and yellow. All other colors come from red, blue, and yellow. And I'm going to add a little white in just to be, still got crusties on there. And I'm going to add a little squirt. And mix this up. I'm going to have to order some more yellow because I'm running out. And here we go. And let's pull up the blue. One little squirt there. Use one of my handy dandy little spatulas. I do have the multi-tool, but I only have one. So I'm still continuing to use these. I know You know, the multi-tool is kind of good because it allows you to do some extra things, but it's still a work in progress to use it. All right, and here's my red. And I'm gonna plop this in here. And pull that up. Here we go. Maybe a little bit more in the red. Boy, I'm gonna need some more red too. I've been using a lot. Didn't realize that I was. I guess the next order is going to include some more chalk paste, basic colors. All right, so we're gonna start on this hand here on the right and see how it goes. So I'll just put a couple of dots there, a couple of dots, and let me put a little bit there. I'm going to grab my squeegee and just start let's see, did I get it? I think I got it. Let's see how it comes out. Pull this up. I'm seeing that this is a little bit, I'm just going to take the edge here because that came out a little muddy. And let's see how that works. And there we go. There's a little handprint there. And they are little. Now, I'm taking that particular stencil transfer. We call them transfers. Yes, we do. And I'm putting it in some water. I'll just show you right here because I'm going to clean it. I'm going to use this little toothbrush just to help get that off real quick because I want to take it out of the water very, very quickly. And I'm going to drop my squeegee in the water. And I am putting this transfer on, and I can't, let's see if I can pull it here. I'm putting this sticky side up so that we can dry it out without it sticking back to that particular towel. And then I'm going to take just one of these. This is a disinfectant wipe, and I'm wiping it to get the rest of that stuff off the back. And I'll leave it to the side to dry. Now this came out okay. I think I'm going to, with the grandchildren part, because this is still a little bit muddy, I may go ahead and just use white there. But we'll go over here to the other hand in the meantime. And add some paste like that and use this squeegee. I'm just going to go ahead and trying not to smudge it too much this time around. Let's see how this works out. And here's the edge. I'm just going to pull that up. There we go. There's the two hands. It kind of fades out in this on this background, so I may decide to go back and use white. on that also. So I'm going to stick that other transfer into my water. I'm just brushing off with my little toothbrush the chalk paste that's on the top so that that's cleaned off. And then I'm going to go put it back over here. Sticky side up again. I know you guys can't see it because it's off screen. And I'm wiping it off again with the disinfectant wipe just to clean that sticky side off. A couple things. And kind of a note, you know, and I've had this happen. I had one of the larger transfers, and they are a little more difficult to handle. Fold up and actually stick to itself. And when that happens, don't panic. It's really important not to panic and just go ahead, take it to water, your sink, your shower, whatever, and slowly try to peel it back. Sometimes warm water can help with that, a little bit of warm water, as I understand, but I have not tried that. All right, so this one I'm going to use white here because this isn't really showing up on this board very well. So I may go back over these again. All right, so this one I'm going to use my little handy dandy multi-tool so you guys can see it, because it has this little hook on it, and the hook can get up underneath the rim of the chalk. So like that. I can scrape that up underneath there. Okay, and just, you know, this particular chalk, I am almost out of this one. I do have more white, but I do want to try to get this used up. So we're gonna make it work. And it's starting to dry out a little bit. It still looks pretty good. So I'm going to take this, dab it everywhere. And smear, smear, smear. And let's go for it. So I'm going to take this squeegee here. This one's a little bit bigger. The other one's I cut in half. And you'll see it has a very thin wedge on it. I don't know if you guys can see the wedge. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's looking pretty good, but it's still a little bit dry. I can feel it. It's still dry. It's not smoothing. So I'm going to go ahead, put some water in this, mix it up real good in here, put it on there, and we're going to go for it with that. That's smoothing much better, much better. Adding that water helped. I'm just trying to get it over the words. I don't need it over anything else. So I'm going to scrape off the excess, slide it in there, and pull this up. Let's see how it goes. We'll start on this side. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, it's a little bit light in a few places, so I'm just going to lay it back down and take some extra chalk paste from here, put it back on there, and we'll see how that works. That helped it a little bit. Oh, down here, this part right here dried out. So I'm just gonna go like that. And sometimes when it's not working very well, it's not sticking, you can lay it down real quick. And that empty part does not want to Just doesn't want to lay it in. Okay, let's see. The M, my bane, my existence. Let's see if I can get that. I may have to fix it manually. All right. The P and the M are driving me nuts. Let's see if I can put it in. I'm gonna leave it before I make it worse. All right. So this is going in the water. And it's gonna get scrubbed here in a second. If I can get it off my finger. All right. So I have a couple of spots here. And there you have it. I think what I'm going to do, because you guys are probably, you know, pretty much most people would call the project done. But I think I'm going to try a little technique that I was working on. Let's see if I can't spice up these hands just with a paintbrush and some white chalk paste. So just a little spritz here and there. Might need a little bit more chalk paste. And one thing about paint, using your paintbrush is, I learned how to do toll painting a very long time ago, and from my mom, and she even sent me to a class. It was a very long time ago. And toll painting, they teach you how to use the side of the brush. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just use the very side. And I'm going to put a little right there. That helps a little bit. And get a little more here. And here. And here. And here. Just trying to highlight this and bring it up off the wood just a little. And you know, since these are hands, it's okay if it's not perfect, because you know, little hands tend to smear things a little bit. A little bit more there, and there, and there, and there, and there, maybe just right here. That way, just enough to draw attention to them. There we go. That's a little bit better. I like that a little better. Okay, and that's it. Grandchildren fill the space in your heart. And they really do. So you guys have a great day. I'm out of here. I have some other projects to work on. I'm thinking about making a quilt rack today. So I will have to do the tombstone sides just like I did for the saddle rack, and then it has crossbars. So have a great day. If you catch this on a replay, just mark replay below. Share it as much as you like. I really appreciate that. Bye. And you guys, craft easy.